for the Buffalo defense that has struggled to stop the run already. And moments ago, Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, said Joe Flacco is sore day to day with a shoulder injury he sustained yesterday.
As it relates to Ed Oliver, right as you were saying that, Mina was reminding us that they have the Chiefs coming up, and we will get Marcus's thoughts on Ed Oliver potentially not being out there for a while. That coming your way later. But first, let's get you to the Cowboys and the Broncos this game on Sunday. Sorry, Swag, we got to do it. We made RC time in the 3. That's a 40-yard touchdown. Second quarter is where we go next. Under a minute left to go in the half. Pat Bryant making the grab in the end zone.
Remember when Sean Payton was raving about his accuracy coming out of school?
Right. We're seeing it. Broncos lead 27-10. Ensuing Cowboys drive. Prescott looking downfield for Jake Ferguson, but Jahdae Barron, the former Texas product, their first-round pick, he picks it off. Broncos led by 17 at the half. So in the second half, early in the fourth quarter, actually, Knicks connected with Troy Franklin for the touchdown.
That's why they couldn't knock him out.
Goodness. All right. He's only 245 pounds, by the way, so I'm not sure he's big. He's not a B&B. Bo Nix has turned it around this season. The Broncos scored 44 points on Sunday, the most in any start in his career. He's won 5 straight for the first time in his career after his 1-2 start. His QBR 30 points better during the win streak than it was to start the year. Dan, it feels like it's been a minute since we've heard you talking about the 4x1 offense, although you did talk about it in the first part of the show.
If you're not doing it, you're behind.
All right, so why is it so effective for Denver
How many you got on this
specifically,
one?
though?
7. They're just doing so much
Give the
of
man
it.
his time.
They're just doing so much of it. I think that there's a really interesting element of how much they can get to like basic completion offense, to movement offense, to shot offense. I mean, this is at the bottom of the screen. We're just running completions, stick routes. Okay, there's a variation on 4x1. This time they motion to it, and this is downhill play action keeper where we run a sail concept and we get the quarterback outside of the pocket. This is another 4x1 where up top we get another play action. This is going to be the shot to Mims down the field where the safety's going to collapse and cause DPI. If not for that, that's going to be a touchdown. You get down in the red zone, you're going to get 4x1 with the RPO game. That's to Evan Ingram in space, the same one we saw with Tucker Kraft, and he scores. This is going to be 4x1 throwback screen off play action, and it's only going to go for 4 or 5 yards, but if you're a defense and you're constantly having to pay attention to all these different looks that you're getting, this is that route that RC was talking about with Franklin at the bottom of the screen. Replace by himself. That corner's got the whole field to cover and man-to-man, and now you motion it back. Once again, you slip them through, mesh.
It's hard,
It's an
man.
easy touchdown. There's just so many different things that they can get to out of their 4x1 variation. It's outstanding.
What do you got, 6 plays? Maybe 7? 6, 7?
I'm on you today.
Why?
Because we ain't beefed in too long.
I love
we don't need to get along.
Just so all you people at home, we can hear our producer. You know how many times all of us on this show have to hear Marcus rap? Marcus rap.
By the way, that's behind
They
the
having a
scenes.
lot to say.
Can I talk about this run game?
Yeah, please do. Tina, you get all the time you need, okay?
I won't take nearly as long, but the Broncos have a top 5 run game in football right now, and this was the promise of last year, right? They had the run-blocking offensive line, but not the run game. This year, they got the run game, and when I'm watching them back, I'm amazed by the offensive line, but I'm also amazed by the skill players, and I just wanted to highlight the rookie, Pat Bryant, because he was involved on just about every explosive run. This is duo. The premise is you have skill players who can block down their defensive backs. He takes out Marcus Bell. The safety on that is a big part of why they get that explode, what allows Garrett Bowles to pull behind him. And then finally, this is the most impressive to me. That's a pin pull. That's a 250-pound edge rusher, Donovan Ezeraku. Pat Bryant, rookie wide receiver, holding him in space over and over. These Broncos skill players are blocking
Kid from Illinois, right? Yeah.
I mean, he also had a great game through the air. But I'm so impressed on tape by the Broncos skill players in the run blocking game in particular, and I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, on the other side of things, I mean, Dak had been playing really well, right? This Broncos defense, they forced 2 turnovers, couple of sacks. What went so well for them that also made the Cowboys struggle?
Yeah, we've seen it the 2 times the Cowboys have fell down by a ton of points against Chicago and also against Denver. Dak Prescott just forcing the ball a little bit and not being great with his eyes. We have the Dondre Tillman interception, but also the Jahdae Barron interception that we saw late in the game. Here is very simple. Vance Joseph is going to drop Tillman into the underneath coverage. It's going to be a simulated pressure, and Dak has a win outside right now. He doesn't get rid of the football, comes right back down without even paying attention to CeeDee Lamb and throws the interception, and then we saw the big big man balling return. Here, this is very simple. It's going to be a two-high, 5 underneath coverage. Jahdae Barron's going to roll right underneath Jake Ferguson. Dak Prescott eyes him down, and he forces this football late in the second quarter. We saw the exact same thing against the Chicago Bears. When these games don't stay close and when the run game is not effective, we watch Dak Prescott force the football.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to the other side. Denver's pressure is going to be a problem for people all year. And I know we've been talking about this defense, but also to your point, RC, the added simulated pressure from Vance Joseph when you have a bunch of guys that can win one-on-one. And I'm telling y'all right now, I talked about Benito last year, but this dude is creating havoc. And then you see John Franklin Myers. But this defensive line as well, man. The one thing that I want to highlight with those guys, they play so well together, and y'all know how big I am on that. Their outside rushers have freedom. You can tell the game plan going into the week. If you want to go underneath, go underneath. The D tackle nearest to those guys always understands how to play off of them, and in turn, a lot of times the D tackles are falling in the sacks more so than the edge rushers. I think they got a really good thing going because they can rush forward and get pressure, but also Vance Joseph can heat people up with the confidence in, well, one of the corners locking down the side.
Which one does he not have confidence?
Riley Curry.
Interesting games, but there's Aaron Rodgers. Anybody like the uniform?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
helmets are cool.
Check because, yeah.
Looks like a road sign.
It's the revenge game and all that jazz, but either way, there's Rodgers connecting with DK Metcalf for the touchdown. Of course, he's going up against his former team. The Steelers led 16-7 at the half. Early third quarter, same score. Jordan Love is hit as he throws, but how about Tucker Kraft coming up with a big play?
It's an outstanding job by Jordan Love of just hanging in the pocket and getting the ball off. And Tucker Kraft, the way he tracks the football, and then obviously the strength afterwards, big time.
Later in the drive, Packers 2nd and goal. Love right here. He finds Savion Williams for the score. The Packers trail 16-14, mounting the comeback in this one on the road. Start of the fourth quarter, Packers down 19-14. Josh Jacobs gets the handoff, bounces outside for the 3-yard touchdown.
What a lateral cut. Just a little bit of an R1 jump cut to his right, find a way into the paint.
Yeah, the Packers will get the 2-point conversion, so now they lead 22-19. What can Aaron Rodgers do? He's trying to make it happen, but Micah Parsons had other plans. Pittsburgh would go 3 and out. 11 minutes to go in the fourth. Love once again to Tucker Kraft over the middle, 24-yard touchdown.
Love the play design. Love the call by Matt LaFleur. Love the play design. That fourth quarter, this offense really got hot for Green Bay.
The Steelers down 32-19. Rodgers hitting Kenneth Gainwell, but Edgerrin Cooper forces the fumble. Green Bay recovers. The Packers win 35-25. Aaron Rodgers does not end up getting the revenge or whatever you want to call it against his former team, but in his first career game against the Packers, Rodgers had a solid performance. It was outdueled by Jordan Love. He went 29 for 37, including 20 straight completions at one point with 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. He became the 4th different quarterback in Packers history to complete 75% of passes with 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game, and the first since Rodgers did it himself in 2019. Marcus, what was different in the second half for Green Bay?
Well, first of all, Pittsburgh, newsflash. Tucker Kraft plays for the Green Bay Packers. That's number one. In case y'all didn't realize that yesterday, I'm going to tell you today in case at some point in
maybe
the
they know Jamar Chase and T. Higgins play for the Bengals.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Listen, the explosive plays for Green Bay in the second half were phenomenal. And I think the one-on-one matchups that Jordan Love was able to find, you saw guys using their body. You saw the big catch by Christian Watson down the field. It was a lot of just winning going on. And the ease in which Jordan Love played the game, the protection was there. He was comfortable in the pocket. They were super explosive. They figured out that they were going to attack these matchups when they were in man-to-man in the second half. And everybody talks about the second half adjustment. The second half adjustment was, we're going to see if these corners and these linebackers and safeties can cover. And they exploited it, and I thought it was a phenomenal job by Jordan Love allowing his guys to make plays down the field.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft has become a top 3 tight end in the league, and the way that Matt LaFleur uses him, it's very similar to the way that Kyle Shanahan uses George Kittle, or used to use George Kittle early on in San Francisco. Motion him over down in the red zone, 4x1 RPO. And this is just a simple read for the quarterback, that backside tight end. They get pressure front side with that ball fake, kick the ball. Pittsburgh never adjusts number-wise. You're just throwing this ball to the flat. Now you've got him out in space. No one's even remotely close to him. That's almost a walk-in touchdown outside of those last final 6 or 7 yards. This is the play that everyone talked about last night. Motion him outside in. He's covered by safety. We as an offense know it's man-to-man. He's got a corner route. Mentioned it before, great job by Jordan hanging in there. I love the fact that when the ball goes up, Tucker Kraft immediately puts his eyes high to go track and find the football. That's an incredible adjustment. And then the yards after the catch, I didn't know he had this in his game. Just an unbelievable job of strength. 4th and 1. He's on the inside part of the bunch. There's that 4x1. If you're not using it in the NFL, you're behind the times. I love the hesitation, the down block by those 2 outside guys. This is a huge play in this football game. Kick it to him in the flat. This reminds me so much of George Kittle. Reminds me of how Owen Daniels used to be used under Kyle Shanahan back in the Houston Texans days. And then the motion again across its man. Tucker Kraft up top, inside. Watch his release. Okay, when he releases and those backers pressure, that defender is going to widen. This is an outstanding job of pinning that defender on the outside of that receiver, the vacated space in the middle of the field, and Jordan Love finds him. The utilization of Tucker Kraft has gone and surged ahead, and he's become one of the best tight ends in football.
MK, I thought we was finna watch the whole damn game. How many plays did you see?
Hey, well, y'all two would like that.
There's a lot of
Investors over
You're talking about time?
How many plays did you
You're
see?
talking about time?
We watched Tucker Kraft highlights.
Hey, but by the way, that shows you just
He
how good
had,
he
he
was
had a
in the
lot of
game.
highlights, to be fair. He had a lot of highlights in this game.
Go ahead, RC.
I want to talk
Feelings
about
hurt.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, I know, but
Like, when did
The defense is going to make
like
you.
when did the Pittsburgh Steelers defense become the patsy? Or the fish? When
Week
did
1?
teams start circling their schedule and being like, hey, man, we may be struggling against this defense and this defense, but look, this week we got the
right.
Pittsburgh Steelers. This game was about closing, and Marcus talked about all the time the Green Bay Packers won. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers were losing all the one-on-one matchups, all the bust in coverage. And Terrell Austin is in this position where even though you have one of the highest paid players in the league, and TJ Watt and a future Hall of Famer, they aren't creating pressure without adding people to the rush. And so now you're putting the back end at a disadvantage. And think about saying this 3-4 years ago. A defense with TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slade, Joey Porter Jr. gave up 20 straight completions.
Yeah.
There has been no answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last 2 weeks against the run game, and then we watched Emmanuel Wilson be able to salt this game away in the 4-minute drill.
Yeah, and Jordan Love ripped up the blitz with ease. It feels a little crazy to say this after the Packers put up 35, but I still feel like it could have been better. I mean, if we were talking about this game after the first half, we're having an entirely different conversation. And I think all I want to say about Jordan Love was magnificent. I think Matt LaFleur, who's an amazing play caller, does need to ease up a little bit on the governor. I mean, right now on early downs, Jordan Love is 29th in average depth of target. In this game, on 1st and 2nd down, he had an average depth of target of 3.5 yards. And to me, some of that is LaFleur having a little bit of concern about the offensive line from earlier in the season, maybe a little bit too much faith, candidly, in the run game. Jordan Love to that intermediate part of the field, that's where this offense should live. And they have great yards after the catch
Watson
players.
coming back will help that too.
I think it will, and it clearly made a difference already in this game.
Yes,
he looked fantastic. But I think just moving forward against better defenses, better teams, you can't give them a half the way Green Bay did.
yeah, we're going to hear from Aaron Rodgers a little bit later on, so you'll hear what he had to say after this one. But let's bring Adam Schefter in here, as he'll be with us throughout the show. Lots of news to get to, Adam, and we begin with just what looked like an awful injury to Cam Scatterby. What is the latest for the Giants running back?
Laura, he underwent surgery today for that dislocated ankle. His season is over. Everybody on the field knew it yesterday. The moment he went down in one of those gruesome injuries where his foot was turned sideways, he's carted off, his ankle's in an air cast, and all the support that was shown from on the field from all his teammates and even other players. It was devastating to see the Giants lose another major offensive weapon. As for Saquon Barkley, he went out of the game with a groin injury. Felt like he could have come back. The Eagles did not put him back in. They're on their bye week now before a game 2 weeks from tonight in Green Bay, in Wisconsin, and there's a realistic chance that Saquon will be back. Make sure you bring your warm jackets 2 weeks from now in Green Bay for the Eagles-Packers.